And another great exercise that I've done multiple times with myself, and I think this exercise is one of the hardest exercises because what we seek to do when we're doing it is close the chapter. We want to put a full stop at the end. We want to underline it. We want to close the book, and we want this thing to be a masterpiece for us that ultimately defines us. And what I'm talking about here is the question of, who am I? A lot of the people that I ask to write their definition of their who am I down really struggle. It takes a lot of time. It can be very difficult. Sometimes they start out with who am I not, which is a great way to start. Who don't I want to be? Who am I not? But I think understanding who you are and having awareness around your own existence, and also having awareness around the fact that you're an evolving piece of matter. You change by the second. You've been changing by the second since you were born. Therefore, your definition of who you are can also change. Maybe it doesn't need to change by the second. We're not all absolute chameleons. However, it's not a tattoo. It's not a sculpture. It's not set in stone. It's notes in that notebook or on that phone or the device that you make your notes on that you feel most comfortable with. And it's something that can often be referred to, refined, and reflected upon. Referred, refined, reflect. Have I just stumbled across something? God knows. That's what we're searching for. We're searching for maybe some increased awareness around our existence. And those of you that are struggling with this, and lots of people, as I say, do, yes, you can start with who I'm not. I encourage you to think about different things, about different senses. And the senses that I like to use that I feel help me to relate. And if you remember when Jeff Strachan was on the show, he spoke a lot about smells, the sense of smell that will remind us about certain periods of our life, that will create connection of those periods of our life. That resonated with a lot of people. I got a lot of great feedback on that. But the other senses that I always like to explore is asking myself, what does it look like? So we look at sight. We obviously also look at smell. What does something sound like? Does it sound the same to you right now? Does it sound the same? Does it sound different? Does it sound the same as it used to sound? Does it also look and smell the same? So we've got those three to start with. Something that is harder, and that's why this is so hard, is because often we're unable to touch who I am. Think about that. How do you touch who I am? So what does it feel like to the touch? The other sense, our sense of taste, is even harder when it comes to who am I? But one thing that you might think of, and this is an interesting factor, is that on a certain point, you might have had a taste in your mouth when you're thinking about who am I? And if you think about it right now, you have a certain taste in your mouth. I definitely have a certain taste in my mouth right now. And sometimes it's related to what I ate before. Sometimes it's related to doing a show. When you're talking a lot like this, you actually get thirsty a lot, and that brings a certain taste in your mouth. Just some different examples. But the final one is, what does it feel like? And the feeling is not just the feeling to touch. The feeling is inside. If I say, I am such and such, how does that actually make me feel? Searching for awareness, I think, is super important. A lot of people might be aware of who they are. Some of you might not feel like that's a good place to start right now, and that's absolutely fine. Who you are right now and who you want to be could be something completely different. So maybe it's a good idea to start of who you want to be and then reflect later on who you are right now, or the behaviors related to who you want to be. And then you reverse engineer it to the behaviors that you have now and realize that there needs to be a certain amount of change. However, keep in mind the senses, the sight, the smell, the sound, the touch, the taste, the feel, and apply them wherever you can. It doesn't always have to be literal. However, sometimes it can be.